How can you have greener fingers?
How can a cactus make rain?
And how can you walk tall? How can I fool Fred by cutting corners?
You've cut more corners than most, old lad, but you can't fool me.
Now, he may well be foolish, but he's no fool.
I shall fool Fred, I think. Fred, pay careful attention to this. I know you'll find this difficult, mate. Now, I have before me 3 cards. I want you to take the Jack of Spades from this pack of 3 cards here.
Right, I'll try.
And to make it easy for you, fella, look, it's that different coloured card, the red one in the middle.
It's that one there?
Yeah, go on.
That's simple.
Even I can manage that.
Yeah. What card you got there, Jack of Spades?
No, I've got a 2 of hearts.
Ha! Fooled you! How did I fool Fred? Well, with a bit of corner cutting. If you look carefully at my cards here, look. I've actually cut and glued the corner of a Jack of Spades onto the first card. And when you set the trick up, what you do is actually slide in the dummy card behind your Jack there, like that. It looks like I've got a completely different card. Now, if you want to go and do this trick, make sure that you get permission of the person who owns the pack of cards before you start cutting them up. That's how.
You are a card. How can you have greener fingers?
Right, well, I have a wonderful garden, Freddie, and the key to it is when you have horrible things like green flies,
Yes.
then you kill them with this spray.
No,
kill them dead.
No. What you want is CFC-free, antifungal, organic spray. That works.
No, both of you, chemicals really aren't all that green. They're not really the answer. The answer to the problem is bugs.
Well, that's what you're trying to get rid of.
Yes, but bugs can be a gardener's best friend. Come with me to the how-to greenhouse, because bugs can do the job for the gardener. For example, take a look at this poor, sad little plant here. He is infested by the spider mite, and what they are doing, in fact, is killing the cells of the plant. They'll leave a nasty white mark all across the leaf and eventually kill the plant.
I know how you can get rid of
completely.
those. You spray them.
No, you don't spray them. That's the whole point. What you do is you use another mite called the phytocoelus. And the phytocoelus, in fact, will eat the spider mite.
Really?
I'm going to put some on my hand and see if we can see them. Those are phytocoelus. And if you take a look at this, you'll see a spider mite about to get eaten.
Oh.
And look, 2 phytocoelus mites who've just munched their way through most of that spider.
That's gory, that is.
Now, what about this poor,
dear.
sad little creature here? That leaf covered in aphids. Now, how would you get rid of the aphids?
You spray them.
No, Carol, you don't. What you do, in fact, you use an aphidious wasp, which will control the aphids by laying eggs inside them. Look at this. Here's an aphidious wasp searching for a suitable aphid to lay her eggs in. And this looks like one. She bends her abdomen right round and injects the aphid with eggs. Now, the aphid doesn't die immediately, but swells up, becoming less and less active. Eventually, it turns into a mummified aphid from which the baby wasp emerges. And here's one which has just hatched out.
Freddie, that's terribly cruel.
No, it's not at all, actually. It's nature. Now, take a look at this. Mealybugs. Now, how will you get rid of mealybugs?
You spray them.
No, you don't spray them. What you do is you use some ladybirds. A ladybird called Cryptolemus. Now, the ladybird's larvae, in fact, will deal with beasties who munch your plants like mealybugs. She absolutely loves them for dinner. Watch her go. So, here, without the aid of chemicals, simply with the help of nature,
Yes?
my prize marrow.
Hey!
That is tiny.
Small, but beautifully marked and completely organic.
Well done, Fred.
That's how you can have greener fingers.
Let's move on, shall we, to another how. How can I pour light?
Pour
Just
light?
like that.
You can't pour light.
Like what?
Like that. I think I'd better explain. Light travels in straight lines, but you can change its direction if you reflect it. Now, if I put my finger in here, you can see the tip of my finger, but not the rest of my hand. And that's because the light is being reflected at the surface where the water meets the air. And this is called total internal reflection. But what on earth has this got to do with pouring light? Well, I'll show you. This is a container full of water with a source of light, like a torch, at the back and a small hole at the bottom. Now, it's got a bung in at the moment, but when I take this out, the water is going to gush out and trap the light within it. So, lights down, please, Maestro. We'll take the bung out. And there you can see that the water is bending the light, it's trapped the light, and you can see a faint spotlight where it's hitting this white board. And if you switch the light source off and on, you can send messages, but this is quite inefficient using water. But it is a good model of how an optical fibre works. And over here we have the real thing. Now, these are glass optical fibres, and they're made by teasing glass out until it's as fine as a human hair, and it can take light for miles and miles. In fact, it's a great carrier for digital information. It can take it round bends, curves, up and down hills. And this amazing piece of technology is really the ultimate way of pouring light. That's how.
How do you avoid getting a big fine on the Hong Kong Underground?
Well, you buy your ticket.
You're right, Fred. This how does involve tickets. But there's more to it than that. You know, underground tickets, made out of paper, use them once and throw them away.
Yeah.
Well, in this country anyway. Not so in Hong Kong. When they built the Mass Transit Railway, the MTR as they call it, in 1980, it was designed to be a very modern system, fully air-conditioned, and the tickets were designed not to be used once, but to be reused, and to that end, they were made not out of paper, but made out of plastic. This is a ticket from the MTR, and the nice thing about it is the feel.
Oh, that's a nice sound.
It does make a nice sound. Shall we go?
Could I have a go?
Yeah, have a flick, by all means, yes.
Thank you.
Now, the trouble is, immediately people got on the train, they started flicking their tickets. And the noise was very interesting, but you got 150 people on the train making that noise, and up to 2 million people passed through one station every day on the MTR, and eventually the noise became unbearable. Could we have some quiet, please? Oh. Eventually, the authorities put up a sign which said, "Do not flick your ticket." And the fine for flicking your ticket was greater than the fine for not having a ticket at all.
This is true.
It's absolutely true. Eventually, people learned not to flick their tickets, and the MTR became a much quieter place. So how do you avoid getting a fine on the Mass Transit Railway of Hong Kong? Don't flick your ticket. That's how.
How tasty is your town? I will show you how to make a town out of, would you believe, biscuits. Here's where you start with a quite magnificent house entirely made out of biscuit. Anybody can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Looks quite complicated.
I will show you how to do it. All you need is some melted chocolate, an equal amount of that, and icing sugar, and mixed with 2 tablespoonfuls of water. And you use the chocolate as your cement. It is chocolate cement. And you put it on, say, a wafer biscuit in the same way that a bricklayer would make a proper wall, just along the edges like that, and then build it as you would a proper wall. I'll do another one very quickly. Oh, here's another good tip for you. Have some really hot water with you as well, so you can keep the knife nice and hot, so the chocolate will stick to the biscuit and not to the knife. And you'll build your wall up and up and up. And here's another hint as well. When you're building your house, if you want it to be absolutely solid, build it around a box which has got some tin foil on it, which makes it nice and hygienic, so you can eat the biscuits.
Eat it after.
Exactly. Not only after, you can eat it if you have a little snacky accident. Because things do occasionally go wrong, even for me. And here's one that I ate earlier. But the how was, how tasty is your town? And I'm going to show you how to make a town out of biscuits. So, come with me to Biscuit City. It's almost like a world city, really, because we've travelled all around the world for this. Here we've got our interpretation of the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. Wonderful use of ice cream cone on the roof, and also Battenberg for the rose window. Superb. To New York, the Chrysler Building. Excellent use of wafer on the roof there. Fantastic. To Venice, the Bridge of Sighs. Marvellous use of sponge fingers on the bridge itself. Nearer home, Coronation Street, a work of art. Wonderful, exquisite detail, including the Coronation Street cat, wafer on the roof. And the pièce de résistance, my own home, done munchin'. And that's the beauty of this how. You can do it with all your mates, and when you've finished it, you can munch it, you can eat it. So, how tasty is your town? Very tasty indeed.
How can a cactus make it rain? Listen to this rain stick. Can you hear the gentle patter of raindrops on your window pane?
Rain.
They're lovely, aren't they? Yes, you can. Here's an extra large one for you, Gareth.
Thank you very much.
And a medium-sized one for you, Freddie. Now, depending on how you use these, it can either be gentle pitter-pattering of raindrops or a violent thunderstorm.
Where do they come from?
They come from Chile, where they're used by tribes in rituals to encourage rain to some of the parched areas of the Atacama Desert.
How do they make them?
Well, they're made from the wood skeletons of dead cactus plants. And what happens is these cacti live for up to 70 years, and when they die, the flesh falls off from the outside of the plant and also the thorns. So the craftsmen come along, chop down the cactus, and then they pick up the thorns and hammer the thorns back into the skeleton. You can see in that sort of spiral formation, they actually hammer them back in. But to make the noise, they add some tiny pebbles, and as those pebbles go down over the thorns, that is what makes the sound of the rain. And that is how a cactus can make rain. Lovely.
How can you walk tall?
You mean like Val Dunican or Johnny Cash in that song Walk Tall?
No, I mean this kind of walk tall.
That's what I call tall.
Hey, Soren Nielsen isn't in fact 4 metres tall, he's only 2 metres tall, but he's wearing a pair of stilts. Now, you can make yourself a pair of stilts out of a pair of empty paint tins. Put some string through them, put the lid back on the bottom, and they will support even my massive weight. If you're going to learn to walk on stilts, wear a pair of knee pads as well. Fantastic. Now, Soren Nielsen is a champion stilt walker, but Soren, are these actually any good for learning to walk on stilts?
Yeah, they're very good because they make you used to be of height, and also you can stand still of them, which is what you can't do with a pair of these.
All right, this is the next stage.
This is the next stage of the stilt walking school.
Okay.
I'll give you the orange ones.
Yeah, how'd you get on?
And, right, you take them and put them behind your shoulder, then you put one foot onto one of the lower things, and then you put the second foot on. As soon as you put the second foot on, you start moving with the first one. Okay. Because with these, if you don't keep moving, you fall off.
Okay, well, I'll probably fall off even if I'm moving. Here we go. Hup, there, hey, ha.
Well, the next stage, if you're feeling brave after that, would be to turn the stilts round and then go on to the next level.
All right, okay, but what about professional stilts?
Well,
is there a professional stilt walker?
Yeah, professionals can use either the pair like mine, or they use these, which are what we call strap-on stilts.
Strap-on?
Made of metal.
You reckon I could learn to walk on these?
Well, you can have a go.
I will have a go. Right, let's get strapped into me stilts. Soren, thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.
I shall enlist the help of you two fellas. Come over here and give us a hand, because you know what I'm like.
We know precisely what you're like, mate.
Too well,
That's why we're going to enjoy this. You see that window over there?
Yes.
Go on.
Allez. Hey!
Whoa.
Oh, there you go.
You there?
I think,
Steady.
unless I'm very much mistaken, I am walking tall. That's not bad, is
Very
it?
Fairly
good.
tall.
Well, there you go. That's how you walk tall. Stand by to record the How Data Blast right now. And this is how you dance tall. And that's how for now.
Right, Carol, give us a steady.
Steady.
That's dangerous on those buckets.
Don't you understand?